right, step one on the road is gonna be fuel, breakfast, and then head north. I got my OpenStreetMap on the Garmin, got my phone mounted here, got my dash lights half out. I have my FRS radio down there. Actually, no, I have my FRS radio here. And then once we get into the logging traffic, I have my VHF, UHF radio, where the logging truckers are on 150 odd megahertz that we can listen to for safety, of course. Check out that view. A little bit of chatter on the radio this morning too. Not on the CB. CB sounds dead, but the ham radio this morning, it is lit. There's a system on the island called the Island Trunk System, where there's a number of repeaters on the eastern coast of Vancouver Island that run from the north to the south in various different towns, and they're all connected together, so what you hear on one you hear on them all, and it's actually a pretty cool thing to listen to, and then I guess a pretty cool safety feature too. So anyways, let's see if I can shift here.
Anyway, you take care. Thank you for the check-in, and it's always great listening to you.
So I guess this isn't really a surprise, but it's snowing. Okay, we're coming up on Port Hardy. We just stopped near Port McNeill to take a pee and throw out our garbage at a rest stop, and now we're just gonna fill up at Port Hardy before we head out at the road to Holberg. The road to Holberg, I think, is only about 1 kilometer or 2 south of Port Hardy. So we'll fill up in Port Hardy. It's just a small town, and then we'll get going. Okay, we're turned onto Holberg Road here. I just want to give a quick example of this sign. So this road out to Holberg is a logging road. So this sign says RR Channel 5. That means Resource Road Channel 5. And then that's the frequency associated with the Resource Road channel. So I've got my Baofeng UV5R with, I don't know if you can see that, with the right frequency dialed in. It's illegal to transmit on this frequency because it's a commercial frequency, but I can listen to this frequency to listen to the logging traffic for safety. So let's go. So this first bit is paved here, but I don't think that's gonna last very long. We're only probably about 1 kilometer in to the Holberg Road. All right, so we're a few kilometers in here now. It's really hard packed gravel. Only seen a couple cars, probably coming from either Winter Harbor or the town of Holberg. Boy, the weather changes pretty rapidly. Now all of a sudden we're into the snow, even though we haven't really gone up in elevation. So, really weird. Vancouver Island. Okay, we're just passing by Nowitty Lake is the bigger lake. This is the second big lake that we're passing. We just passed a sign that said no stopping for the next 4 kilometers because it's a slide area. I'm guessing because there's a big hill to the left of us that is potentially unstable. There's the lake. Kind of cool with the fog. So, be prepared for the unexpected. Check that guy out. That's a massive tree. I could have sworn that car was white though. Is that the gym? This is the town of Holberg. Holberg proper, so we're not at CFS Holberg. That was an old radar station. This is just Holberg. So this is the Holberg Inlet, I think. sun has finally decided to poke his head out at what, 1 p.m. Nope, let's shift. Hopefully it stays out. The plan now is we're gonna go and check out CFS Holberg, or at least if there's anything left of CFS Holberg. I might do a separate video to try and explain what that is, and maybe do a walkthrough of the woods area of where CFS Holberg, the small town, was. So we'll get there in a few minutes and I'll explain it. I think this is the famous elephant crossing, if I'm not mistaken. There was a sign, or at least used to be a sign that said elephant crossing. So we're coming up on the old CFS Holberg site. And just in time, because the sun decided to come out. So we'll see what is there when we get there. So my GPS says the old CFS Holberg site is just up here on the left.
Winter Harbor Road.
Like right up here. Oh, there's some paved road. Let's see. Let's get a 4-wheel drive. There we go. All right, so I'm just gonna do a short video here of what I think is where the original CFS Holberg site was. So the town of Holberg proper is a couple kilometers that way, and then as we came up to where I thought it was gonna be, there was a little bit of what remains is paved road, just here and then across this way. I don't know how far it's paved up there. So a little bit of history of what I know of CFS Holberg is CFS Holberg was one of the radar stations, a part of the Pine Tree Line, which was the original, tripwire or defense, radar defense against incoming bombings from like Russian aggression or other threats, right? So this site was a part of the Pine Tree Line. Now this wasn't the actual site. I think the radar site is a few kilometers up that way on top of a large hill, but this would have been the main PMQs, Canex, gym, whatever recreational activities they had here. So this site, I think, was started in probably the 50s, and then I think they disbanded, got rid of the Pine Tree Line in the late 80s, and then started remediating all of the sites. But there was there was the Pine Tree Line, and then I think it was called the Mid Canada Line, and then what was the Dew Line, which I think now is still it's not called the Dew Line, it's called the like the early warning system. It's part of NORAD now. So what we're gonna do is, I think what remains is still a few of the roads, and we'll see if there's anything cool back in here. Do you have it up on your GPS, David?
Yeah.
So using the GPS, we can still actually see here, let me zoom in there. What is left of the road system where all the buildings were. So I imagine some of the roads are still in there. So we'll drive back in there with the 4Runner and see how far we can get, and then maybe walk around a bit. But a drive out from Port Hardy was about an hour, and we were going pretty slow. So we got the camper. We're headed out to San Josef Bay
area to go camping, and then we're gonna go down to Grant Bay and stay a few nights, do some off-grid camping here. So let's see what we can find here. I don't know the names of any of these roads or hills back here, but I'm sure there's people who lived here who can potentially comment on this video and say what they were called. There's a guy at my work, Tim, who grew up here as a kid for a couple of years. I think he was only 7, 8 years old at the time, so I'm not sure how much he remembers. He said he vividly remembers it though. He sent me a few pictures of when he was younger. So this is partially for you, Tim. So let's go and check this out. And then I don't think we're gonna go and try to see the radar station today. We'll probably head down there as we go down to Grant Bay, and then maybe tag it onto this video. So let's see what we can find. It finally turned out to be a nice day though. It was raining the entire way here. Dave is just adjusting his shocks. I imagine they did a pretty good job. The government of Canada and D&D take a pretty keen interest in making sure things are remediated properly. But I guess we'll find out. It's been a few years though since they tore it down. I think they tore it down in the late 80s, early 90s. So, 30 years worth of tree growth if they replanted. Oh, we might have to walk, unless you think you can get around there. No problem. This whole area has definitely been reclaimed by vegetation. So we'll see if we can find any old roads. This is definitely not pavement. Might be pavement underneath this. But we'll see what's left. It's actually quite warm. Oh, here's some old pavement. Yeah, right there. Couple layers of pavement.
So they remediated everything from the main road and then left everything here, maybe.
Well, I mean, this is pavement. It's funny how he gets the car and I'm walking. Oh, I see something white over there. You see something? I see something white over there.
It's like a ladder or something.
It's a couple pieces of plywood.
Hop in,
Where are we on your GPS? Like, there's another road down there. There's pavement. Oh. Wanna try it with your chainsaw? What do you think you can get around? Geese. Holberg geese.
Holberg geese.
That are they showing up on the radar? The CFS radar?
That's the Royal Canadian Air Force right there.
What squadron was this called? It was like 10.
It was 101.
101 or 108.
Yeah.
Look at that, flying in formation. Oh, look.
Tactical departure.
I saw this on satellite imagery.
Yeah.
I was wondering what it was. I guess it's just a bunch of wood.
There's no nails and stuff.
Yeah. So I think CFS Holberg was probably about 100 or so military folks, and I'm sure there was lots of support personnel as well.
Families and stuff.
Plus families and kids and wives and daughters and sons and PSP staff or whatever they called them.
That was a trade back then.
Yeah.
PSP didn't exist. There's some.
So not much left. It's gone.
Want to have lunch after this?
Yeah, sure. In the camper?
That way we can say we had lunch at CFS Holberg.
We're gonna have lunch at CFS Holberg. So this is, I already explained it on the video, but this is the like the PMQ site, and the actual radar site is a few kilometers that way, like on the top of a hill. So I think originally before unification, they called this site RCAF Holberg, and then after unification, it became like, you know, CF whatever. So it was, yeah, like Canadian Forces Holberg after that. But I think there was still, you know, mostly Air Force personnel. So we're gonna, this is supposed to be one of the loop roads. It's a little more overgrown. We're just gonna walk it, take our bear spray with us, and we'll see what's along this road. By the looks of it, I mean, we went all the way up there. By the looks of it, they did a pretty good job remediating everything, because there's no traces of anything besides a few sticks of plywood and stuff. This one's all mossy and overgrown. You can still see the pavement though, you know? That's what I was expecting, the pavement to be left. Saying, how much rain does Holberg get?
Like 12 feet.
12 feet in a year. The stream is overtaking the road. There's some old pavement.
Very thin.
It's just falling apart. Look at that. Wow. I wonder if the pine tree line actually was effective at all.
Because that was the closest in one, right?
So it was the, yeah, I explained it earlier, but there was the pine tree line, the mid-Canada line, and then the dew line. And then the dew line was reduced, and whatever what's the current one called? It's like the north warning system.
Oh yeah, whatever's plumbed right into NORAD.
And then they got rid of the pine tree line and the mid-Canada line, and that's all that's left, which is like long, super long range radar and stuff. Operated by NORAD. Or not operated, but
basically all
controlled.
They do is track Santa at Christmas time, so.
Oh
no,
man,
there's more than that.
This is mucky.
Mossy.
I hope the weather stays like this.
Somewhat clear, not foggy.
Yeah.
It's also interesting the choice of tree that grows here. Not like humans chose it, but like how nature chose. What are these, birch?
Well, I mean,
like
when they remediated, they could have planted birch.
I don't even,
like I'm pretty sure this is birch. Yeah, I think birch has like white bark like that.
It's not peeling though.
Oh man, my shoes are getting kind of wet.
Yeah.
This is why I have backup shoes. Where's the pavement?
It's also weird too, like we are walking on whatever pavement, but then the moss just takes over.
We're walking on the Queen's grass. Well, I guess it's no longer the Queen's grass.
I think there was like just a whole like little village here. Like they probably had a gym.
Yeah, a gym, a Canex, a movie theater.
Probably had more kid on it than our current bases.
There probably was not a skating rink or an arena. Not enough people for that.
It would be great though if you're into fishing and hunting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
As if your dad could have been posting here. It's so weird.
Oh man, it's wet.
One thing you can try adding to your boots is I use mink oil.
Well, these aren't even like my hiking boots. I brought my hiking boots. I'm gonna change into them after, once we're in the camper. I'll let these ones dry out. These ones are not really meant to walk in the water. I hear a stream over there.
It's swampy.
Eerie. It's pretty eerie.
It is.
Do you know where we're going?
Well,
Why don't we
all
go?
I know is back that way, but
Well, it loops around, so let's go.
but we were the second. This is the second road, and it would loop up that way because there wasn't an entrance to the part on the GPS, unless the GPS is off. But
What was the name of the like triangle lake that was close to this? Was it Triangle Lake? It was in the shape of a little triangle.
it had like a little like dangly on thing on it.
Yeah.
You can match up the picture. Is it like Dog Lake or something?
Mince Lake?
Oh, that sounds
Or
crazy.
something like that. I think there was like a Z in it.
I wonder where HQ was.
Oh, does this not go anywhere? Huh. Guess not. That's it. There's not much left of Holberg. CFS Holberg.
Here, picture of it.
Abandoned in the woods. So, we're gonna have some lunch in the camper, and then we're gonna continue our journey to San Josef. All right, check out this sunset. Oh, this is cool. Okay, now I don't know if you can see it in the video, but you can see the one blimp of a radar at the top of that hill way up there. Maybe once we get around these trees you can see it. So we're at the junction where you go that way to go to Winter Harbor, and then back that way is Holberg, and then this way is up to CFS Holberg, the current station, which still operates. So, I mean, at the bottom of the road there's not a fence, or a gate, but we're not going to go because the sign says Department of National Defense, Holberg Detachment, access restricted to authorized personnel, only four-wheel drive vehicles, only in case of emergencies. Call this number, even though there's no service here. So we're just gonna carry on but that's the road that goes to the top. Yeah, guess that's it. Thanks for watching the CFS Holberg video. I guess that's it. Unless you want to rip to the top. Okay, out.